What's up, guys? It's Matt from MLB Marathon, bringing you guys another video. This week, we're going to touch on the top 10 quotes from players and personnel around the league and realize what the real, genuine reactions are to this entire scandal about the Houston Astros. What do they feel? This is the first time we've kind of seen players come out, especially big players around their game, kind of give their feelings on this. Unbelievable quotes we have to share with you. Before we get to that, we want to be sure that you're involved in every giveaway we're doing here on YouTube and on Twitter. Go check us out on socials at MLB Marathon. Get involved. We have a lot of content coming out throughout this upcoming season. The growth is unreal. We appreciate that. Be sure to subscribe, follow us, like us on every social, and we'll see you guys soon.
I just don't think it holds any value. You cheated and you didn't earn it. That's how I feel. Is it wasn't earned. It wasn't earned the way of playing the game right and fighting till the end and knowing that we're competing, we're competitors.
So coming in at number 10 is Aaron Judge, and he said, "I don't think it holds any value. You cheated. You didn't earn it." Joined by Noah Yeckley. Noah, it's good to have you. What do you take from this comment from Aaron Judge?
I wholeheartedly agree with him 100%. I mean, if you know what pitch is coming, then you have that much of an advantage against your opposition. I mean, say the Dodgers knew it was coming. If the Dodgers knew it was coming, yeah, the playing field would be level, but it wasn't. So I think what Judge is trying to say here is you guys had some kind of unfair advantage, so you won because of it, and therefore your title has no value. So, yeah, I totally agree with him there.
I absolutely agree with him. Being a Yankee fan and all, how could you not? But besides that, I think the public kind of just made this come to life. Like, now their World Series title is meaningless because of not only a fan outbreak on it, but we're getting the same from the players as well. And that kind of goes to show you how disgraced people are around the game of baseball. So I agree with Aaron Judge.
I think that's, it's tough. You're taking the trophy away, taking the rings away. I think they should definitely do something. I don't know what, but to cheat like that and not get anything, it's sad to see for sure.
Coming in at number 9, the face of baseball, Mike Trout. He says, it's tough taking the trophy away, taking the rings away. They got to do something. I don't know what, but to cheat like that and not get anything, it's sad to see. Noah, the players were granted immunity. They are not going to be punished by this in any way except for them from the public. Your thoughts on Mike Trout and his comments?
I mean, this is the ambassador to the game. I mean, you rarely ever hear Trout say anything out of the ordinary. He's usually a pretty happy guy, usually has a pretty positive outlook. But when you're the best player in the game and you're not using any unfair advantage and you're putting up the kind of numbers that he does, I mean, you really have to put into perspective, like, wow, Houston really did a bad thing. And, like, I don't mean to, put that lightly, but they did a terrible thing, and you just pissed off the greatest player in the game, probably the greatest player of our generation, and he could go down as the greatest player of all time. And, for him to say something out on this kind of scandal really goes to show how bad the gravity of the situation really is.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, Trout also had other words about what it would be like if he knew what pitch was coming. And we can only imagine seeing Trout know that a fastball or slider was coming, how unbelievable his season would be. And the fact that Mike Trout can put up better numbers than every Astro on the team while cheating, that just goes to show you the real raw talent that we get to witness every day when we see Mike Trout.
Run over the loading dock into the crowd. Giancarlo hits his first home run of the year. Giancarlo, the no sequel Scopalo. He hits a 3-run home run of the Yankees.
Moving on, coming in at number 8, Giancarlo Stanton of the New York Yankees. He said, "If I knew which pitch was coming in 17, I probably would have hit 80-plus home runs." Noah, is this a bit of a stretch?
I would say it's a stretch. I mean, he might have had 80 less strikeouts, but let's be real here. I don't think he's really being serious either. But I think what he's saying is the unfair advantage that comes along with knowing what pitch is coming. I mean, your strikeout rate's going to go low. You're going to make more contact. And, yeah, you might hit a few more home runs. But I think what Stanton's really trying to say here is if I knew what pitch was coming, I would have been a lot better than I was in my MVP season where I hit almost 60 home runs alone.
Yeah, to think that he hits 59 with none of this taking place. I mean, it might be a stretch, but it could very well be possible too. This is a guy that hits just missiles off the bat. And if
Right,
he
and he's generally a high strikeout guy too.
Right, and we've seen Bregman and the result that he got with having more walks in a season than he did strikeouts. Imagine if Stanton was given that ability on top of the power, it would be next level, and I think he'd come close to 80.
You know, the financial gains for the players are substantial if they have big seasons because of this. So if there's no punishment for them, I'm not sure that it stops. I'm really not sure. Because
Coming in at number 7, we just heard him, Joe Girardi. He said, the financial gains for the players are substantial. If they have big seasons because of this and there's no punishment for them, I just don't know that it stops. Noah, this is a guy from Joe Girardi, manager of the Phillies now, managed a team of the New York Yankees in 2017 against the Astros. Some strong words here from him.
Yeah, I agree with him though. If you give the players immunity, what makes us think, the public, that they're going to stop? Like, they didn't even get a slap on the wrists. I mean, yeah, Jeff Luhnow and AJ Hinch kind of had to pay the piper for it. But in the grand scheme of things, we know now that it was player driven and mostly by Carlos Beltran. So if we're not going to punish the players, then where does it stop? Like, don't you think that you have to give them some kind of punishment, even if it's just like the ringleaders, like, a Bregman or an Altuve? Don't you think that we got to give them some kind of punishment to kind of set the jetway for people to stop it? No, I agree with Girardi. I mean, who's to tell us that it's going to stop?
Absolutely, and he brings up a good point here that none of us really think about right off the bat is the financial part of this. I mean, look at Aaron Judge. He's still in his arbitration years. If he has an MVP title that he can, use in his case, that's a lot of money that he's losing because of Altuve winning it. Or if the World Series ring is an accolade that you have, teams get financial benefits from this. Winning the World Series is not just a trophy, it's more than that. You're bringing a lot of value to your organization. And so the Astros took away the possibility of the Dodgers or the Yankees getting that. So the financial part of it, if you're just going to get a slap on the wrist and you could pocket some money, the players may still think that it's worth it. So I definitely agree with Joe Girardi here.
I think what people don't realize is Altuve stole an MVP from Judge in 17. Everyone knows they stole the ring from us, but
coming in at number 6, man, did he have some things to say, and this is where it starts to get juicy. Cody Bellinger, he said, Altuve stole an MVP from Judge, and everyone knows that they stole the ring from us. Noah, Cody Bellinger feels strong about the Houston Astros taking the World Series ring from the Dodgers. What do we think?
Obviously, if I was Cody Bellinger, I'd feel the same way. If my team, the Dodgers, was cheated out of a World Series championship in 2017 because of cheating, like, obviously I'm going to feel pretty strongly about that. And he's absolutely right about the Judge and the Altuve thing too. Judge didn't know it was coming. Altuve did. So obviously he cheated Judge out of that as well. But Bellinger's right. I mean, I can't imagine how it feels as a player being on that end and seeing what has come out this offseason on the Astros. Like, if you were a member of the Dodgers in 2017, your heart's got to be broken.
Absolutely. And, when we heard these comments from Bellinger, it kind of lit up a fire under Carlos Correa's pants, because the next day he wants Ken Rosenthal to interview him, and he's kind of just bickering back and forth with Bellinger, saying things like, well, Bellinger, you had the opportunity in the World Series. You had runners in scoring position, but you couldn't come through. So instead of talking, you should have done something then. Just cowardly comments from Correa after these quotes from Bellinger. And hopefully the Dodgers are doing the right thing. They're going to be the bigger person here. They don't want to be given the ring by any means. They don't think that the Astros should be saluted for the 2017 World Series, but they also don't want that to be handed to them. And Bellinger, I can't agree with anything else that he said. It's ridiculous.
Game, and at this point the only thing devaluing that trophy is that it says commissioner on it.
Do you think that
coming in at number 5, things get a little more heated? Justin Turner, we just heard him say some fighting words to the commissioner. The only thing that's devaluing that trophy is that it says commissioner on it. And this is coming from players. What do you think, Noah? This is strong.
I mean, I think players are getting really fed up with how Major League Baseball is being run and Manfred being the village idiot running the whole thing. And I think it just goes back to his pompous comments, which we'll get to a little bit later here. But I don't think Manfred has a single ounce of respect from anybody in Major League Baseball right now, unless you're the Astros, because in my opinion, he's protecting them for whatever reason. I'm sure we'll find that out eventually, which is just going to be another shitstorm within itself.
Right. And I think, Turner, he's embarrassed to have a commissioner represent a sport that he loves, come out and say things that he said, handle the situation how he's handled it. And, that's how he feels. And I love it. It's genuine because the trophy is the commissioner's trophy. And it's kind of just devalued if the commissioner of the game can't even respect the game itself or the trophy, which we'll get to in a little bit. But strong words from Justin Turner, and I just love the raw emotion.
Why would you need a piece of paper to say sorry for being the biggest piece of shit in baseball history? I don't understand that. But they did. They needed a piece of paper and read it like a robot. And it's the first time I ever heard those boys not talk about it as they kind of said we, but it's the Houston Astros got investigated. And
Coming in at number 4, Mike Clevenger. Former teammates with Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer has had allegations about the Astros for a while. Clevenger said, "Why would you need a piece of paper to say sorry for being the biggest piece of shit in baseball history? I don't understand that, but they did. They needed a piece of paper and read it like a robot. First I've ever heard those boys talk about it." Wow. Clevenger, not holding up, no filter here. Raw emotion again. Anything you take away from this, Noah?
The league is pissed. I mean, that's really all I got to say about that comment. Clevenger is a starting pitcher. He's faced the Astros many times, and I'm sure the Astros have benefited off of him many times, even though Clevenger's one of the best pitchers in the league. But regardless, if I'm a pitcher in Major League Baseball right now, and I know that the Astros were doing what they were doing, I'm going to be outraged to no end.
Absolutely. And I agree with him wholeheartedly here because if you have a sincere apology, if you have an apology that you want to give to the game of baseball or to the fans or to the organization, it's not something that should be scripted. It should come from the heart. It should come from how you feel about the situation, not something scripted. It shouldn't sound like a robot. It shouldn't be mentioning the commissioner's report 700 times. It should be genuine, and that's not what we heard from the Astros players or from the organization, or even the owner at all, which, again, we'll get to later on.
It's anger. I feel like every single guy over there needs a beating. It's wrong. They're messing with people's careers.
Coming in at number 3. Now, this is a guy that does not say much. A veteran, respected in the game. Nick Markakis. He says that the Astros, quote, every single guy over there needs a beating, end quote. Who's doing the beating? Where can I watch? Noah, Nick Markakis, who's very quiet. Some strong words here.
Well, you know what? Nick Markakis has been around the league for such a long time, and he's been very productive at that. Hasn't really been your prototypical power guy, but he's been a guy that, he'll stay healthy for the most part. He'll go out there. He'll get 150 to 175, sometimes even 200 hits a season, driving around 80 runs, 15 home runs, and he'll do it year after year after year, and he's not cheating. This is a guy who's been around since even the end of the steroid era to, the early 2000s to now. And I'm sure to see technology like this being used to cheat is outraging in his respect. So I don't blame him for what he said. I'm sure he got a lot of backlash for it, but why? Why would you give him backlash? He's right. These guys need a beating. They need a reality check.
Yeah, I think some players have the same mindset. He's not alone here. We're seeing, just coincidental rule changes when hit by pitches for this upcoming season, and how it does not correlate at all to this Astros thing, which I disagree with, because regardless, pitchers are going to hit the Astros players this upcoming season. And if that's their beating, I think, they deserve it, especially when you come out and give such a sour apology that they gave. I don't want to see anyone injured, but at the same time, I think it's bound to happen. Nick Markakis, again, hearing this from someone like him, it blows my mind because this is not something you expect from a guy like him.
Listen, the Yankees have had a few comments out there. Our opinion is, that this didn't impact the game. We had a good team. We won the World Series, and we'll leave it at that.
Coming in at number 2, the one and only Jim Crane, owner, representative of the Houston Astros organization. He decided to give his opinion, or lack thereof, by saying, our opinion is this didn't impact the game. We had a good team, we won the World Series, and we'll leave it at that. Noah, this didn't impact the game. This didn't help the Astros. They were better than everyone else, and they won the World Series. Forget about it. Let's move on.
Yeah, okay, Boomer. Yeah. Us knowing every single pitch that's coming to us is not affecting the game. So you mean to tell me whenever you come into a major league game and you're playing against somebody like the Baltimore Orioles and you blow them out like 14-2 and you know what pitch is coming and the Orioles don't? Yeah, the Orioles are a shitty team. We know that. But if the Orioles knew what pitch was coming, they would probably be a little bit better than they are. So for you to say that this didn't impact the game, you are just a pompous, bald-headed Popeye. Oh, my God, I hate you. I hate the Houston Astros. I hate Jim Crane. And for him to say such an arrogant and disgusting comment, oh, my God. As a baseball fan, I hope Jim Crane gets pushed out of baseball.
This is so groundbreaking because I gained so much respect for Jim Crane when he decided to go above Major League Baseball and fire Jeff Luhnow, fire AJ Hinch.
No, he was doing that to cover his own ass.
That's true, but I thought he was trying to make a point, and then he comes out and says things like this, and then tries to backtrack them seconds after when he's called out for them. It's sickening, and players don't take these comments from owners lightly. But
keep golfing with Obama, Jim Crane. Yep, keep doing that.
They're just digging themselves a hole. They really are.
Last, I had a long day on Sunday. I think I did 45 minutes on camera, and then I did a press conference. I have to say I made one mistake, at least, during that long day. And that was in an effort to make a rhetorical point. I referred to the World Series trophy in a disrespectful way. And I want to apologize for that. There's no excuse for it. I made a mistake. I was trying to make a point, but I should have made it in a more effective way. And again, I want to apologize for it.
Coming in at number 1, I think this has to be the most gruesifying, just gruesome comment, just disgusting, sickening. I don't even know how to explain this. No, hopefully you have some better words here. But the commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, we just heard him say it. The idea of an asterisk or asking for a piece of metal referencing the World Series trophy back seems like a futile act. The World Series trophy, the commissioner's trophy, is now a piece of metal and quite heartily sounds like it's worthless to him.
Rob Manfred hates baseball. I say it time and time again. He hates baseball. He has no idea what he's doing. He's literally probably in this for the money. He doesn't care about the players. He doesn't care about anything but himself. And so let's put this into perspective here. Okay. To the rim of a car, that's a piece of metal, right? Okay. A screwdriver, that's a piece of metal. The commissioner's trophy, that ain't a piece of metal. Sure, it's made of metal, but that ain't a piece of metal. That is a commemoration of your 162 game plus journey to win the World Series. Your guys grinding it out in the dog days of August and just clawing and scratching like the Nationals did last year to win a World Series, to bring that joy to your city. Everything that you work for every single year, everything that you build up to, signing players, the training, everything. Everything they do every single day, all 30 teams, everything they do every day is to get that piece of metal and bring it back to their city. Shame on you, Rob Manfred.
Absolutely. And to dig a little deeper, this is not just an ordinary piece of metal. This is coated with diamonds. I mean, this is a monetary value of close to 100,000 if I had to guess. This
Priceless.
Is absolutely. Good point. Priceless. And this is what every player dreams of, and you kind of just ruined that.
I mean, let's look at in the NHL too, and let's do a little bit of a comparison here. The Stanley Cup. When an NHL team wins the Stanley Cup, you see the joy in the players out on the ice, you know, hoisting the trophy into the air, kissing it. That's not a piece of metal to them, and that's made of metal too.
Right.
So what's the difference here? Like, what I just don't understand what can compel somebody to say something like that. And then for him to cowardly backtrack from it and act like he never said it, that just makes it even worse.
Absolutely. Disgraceful act from the Houston Astros, from Rod Manfred. I want to give a big round of applause to every player who stood up, spoke about what they believed in, said how they felt.
It's not over either. It's not. It's just
over.
beginning.
This is just the breast of it. Some of the bigger names in Major League Baseball. Excellent quotes from all around the league. But from Noah and I, we want to thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like this. Comment which of these quotes was your favorite. Who had the most, I guess you could say, the coolest roast or backlash toward the Astros? Which one was the most ridiculous? I think we all know that. Be sure to get involved on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of our social media platforms at MLB Marathon. Thank you guys so much and enjoy.